Hello from my Gambia. Today we are here at Yosh Restaurant in Fajara. It is a restaurant known for creating wide choice of food and beverages. This place is also known for supporting local entrepreneurs, organizing events, especially musicians and startups. We are honored to interview the chef of Yosh Restaurant, Mr. Sheriff Sambou. Mr. Sambou, welcome.
Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Sambou, we are interested in knowing the story behind your career and how it all started.
I'm Sheriff Sambou. Started in Gambia here as a cook. So I was attending a skill center. So from there, I became a cook.
When did you start realizing that you love to create dishes?
I think at my young age, I was really having this passion in cooking because I do normally help my mom time to time. But since I became an adult, then I have this passion in general that I want to become a cook. So in 2017, when I met one of my friends, let's say she was really seeing my my talent. So she tried to give me the platform to create my own dishes without anyone behind it or any chef behind it. So this was in 2017 that I created my own specific dish.
Okay, was this at a restaurant or at your house, your friend's house?
Yeah, it was my house. Then I create a dish which is specifically belong to me, which now the whole recipe was from me.
Okay. So this dish, was it a local dish or something international? Or?
Yeah, it's specifically international because for the local dishes I can prepare a lot of them. So, but in this one it was
actually the first international
yeah,
dish.
it was the first international dish I created by myself. Yeah.
And where did you get inspiration to make dishes?
Actually,
create your food.
Yeah, actually, you know, I do follow this MasterChef competitions and this international chefs. So I do follow them and I do develop myself through YouTube as well. So that's how I became to be a better chef.
Talking about you following YouTube and adding up to your skills, did you have a degree before you start cooking? Did you have any educational background?
Yes, I have an educational background, which I mentioned that I went to a skill center on my neighborhood. Okay. Because you know here it's so expensive to go to this high standard or going to international culinary schools or something like that. So I went to a skill center. Then from there I get my certificate and my degree. From there, then I was following the world. You know, the cookery is so wide, you cannot know it all here. So you have to be more creative and to try to learn more apart from the school. Exactly. So that's what I was doing. So that's where I was specifically concentrating and trying to develop myself.
Okay. So following this MasterChef competition, was there somebody that I love this person's skills and how he cooks and how he prepares? So most of the time we have people that inspire us, that makes us want to do it more.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do follow Jimmy Oliver most of the time and Gordon Ramsay.
In this career as a chef, what were your biggest challenges?
As a chef, the most important thing you to know is to know is from the guests. That's the feedback, because the feedback makes you to develop yourself as well. Because of for instance, you have to be consistent. Like all the time, you have to the one dish you have to make it all the time the same. You cannot serve it to the guest today. It looks like this, and the next day is just different.
Okay,
so this is the biggest challenge. Yeah, absolutely, especially here in Gambia. And for instance, if you are a chef, you work with different people in the kitchen. So you have to make sure that every dish which is going out, you have to test it and to see that it's exactly the way you want it before it go out. So this I'm getting so much challenge on it because I cannot be everywhere, and if it is quite busy, I get so much pressure on that to make sure to test all the dishes before they go out and to be consistently as usual.
Okay. Talking about this consistency, was there any failure?
Actually, not really, because I do make sure that if it is taking even longer, it's better than going out and the guest is not appreciating it. So I make sure that I always take my time and to coordinate my team around me so that they can always do what I want, what I expect from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a chef, what are your specialties?
Yeah, my specialties are, so let's say, that's a lot of specialty which I can do. Actually, I'm not just having specific specialties, because if you can see the Gambia, we are so rich in the culture and in the, let's say, the traditional and the nature at large, because we have the river here and we have the sea. So I cannot just have my own specific specialties, which is so which is a lot here. At this moment, I'm making my seasonal specialists, which we are having every season in the Gambia here, from the sea and the river. So I'm doing my specialties from this.
So do you only prepare seafood?
Not only seafood, but my specialties are more in seafood.
So while working as a chef, what was your biggest achievement or accomplishment?
Yeah, my biggest achievement or accomplishments it was my to welcome my daddy, to work with him in the kitchen, because my father was a chef. So I didn't have the opportunity to work with him in the same kitchen.
Okay.
So when he was working, by then I was so young, so I was going to school. By then he was a chef, working in different hotels and different places before. So my dream was exactly to work with him one day in one kitchen. So
accomplished that.
Yeah, I accomplished that one when I was appointed here as a chef in 2018. So then I once invite him to join me in the kitchen, just to.
And how did that feel?
Yeah, it was amazing for me, definitely. Yeah, and even for him, because for them it was, let's say, the old eras of cooking and stuff like that. So he was even amazed what I was doing. Okay. The way I was presenting my dish and my presentation on the plate, it was really totally different before what were they doing before. So yeah, this was a really achievement for me to welcome him in my kitchen.
Okay, that is great. We all know that working with food is very difficult because customers are always concerned about hygiene, quality, and so on. So how do you ensure the quality of food before taking it to customers?
Yeah, absolutely. That's very important, because as a cook, you should always make sure that whatever is going out is fresh and it tastes good. So for me, I always go and get my stuff at the vegetable guy, from the vegetables to the meat supplier to the streams, and even the fish I normally sell my customers. I go and check which one I want to sell to my customers. So for instance, I always from getting it, I always wash them clean and prepare it and freeze them. So make sure that they are not contaminating with any other stuff or getting let's say food contamination or something like. So this I'm always taking care of.
And how do you feel about your staffs in the kitchen? And how do they feel about you as a head?
As a head chef, yeah, it's so difficult sometimes because, you know, as a chef, you have to have your principle in the kitchen because you just cannot coordinate them and let them do whatever they want. So for me, I have my principle. My principles are I don't have any friend during working hours. So that's my principle. You must work your hours and your time and do what we expect from you. So that's everyone's know. They all know that because I don't have any friend during working hours. After working hours, we can laugh or do joke or whatever. But when it's time to work, we have to work, and after work, then everybody can find his or her way.
Is Yosh your first restaurant to work at?
Not actually. Yosh is not my first restaurant to work at because I started working at 2005. That's the first year I went in the kitchen to learn about my professional, what I want to be. It was 2005. That's when I started cooking in the kitchen. So by then I was a kitchen helper. So I was gradually improving. Then I became a cook in 2006. Before the ending of the season, they promoted me as a cook. Then from there, I was always concentrating and I was always dreaming to learn more cuisine, just not local dishes, because the cookery job is so wide, it's so open. So that's where I was really focusing.
Okay. And how do you feel about working in Yosh here?
Yeah, here I feel so great here because it is my first. It was my opportunity to become a chef thanks to Yosh in 2018 in September. So I started here in 2018. It was in September when I came. I was working with the team here. Then afterwards, I given the opportunity to become a chef. Okay. Yeah, thanks to the management, Straight Money, and actually she was the one who saw my potential before I even started here.
Do they create the space for you to do your creativity?
Absolutely, absolutely. Actually, I'm so grateful with the management here, and thanks to her, now I can be so proud of myself that I can make a lot of dishes which are not even local dishes. I developed myself through YouTube as well, making a lot of dishes which are not even Gambian or African dishes. So I'm glad and I'm so happy to be here to work at Yosh as a head chef.
My last question will be, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years or 10 years?
Next 5 years, actually, I will like to be more creative and to be more exposed, to be at a standard with this MasterChef, this culinary chef competition, to see it happening here in the Gambia, that Gambians can showcase their talent and show it in the world what we get here. So actually that's my dream, and to be, let's say, to have my own before next 5 years even. Okay. To have my own business. And
all right, thank you very much, Mr. Sambou, for joining us today at My Gambia.
It's a pleasure to me to join you and to have the interview with you.
Thank you.